Hey y'all, welcome back. Time to talk about some Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, honey. Let us go ahead and get right on into it. So first things first, the ladies, it's their last day on the boat, and some of the ladies are gonna go upstairs to participate in yoga or whatnot. While they were out there, Heather asked Brittany like, "How you feeling?" And Brittany was just like, "Girl, I'm feeling sunburned. I'm feeling, what she said, whiplashed or whatnot." Because it's kind of hard to answer that question when it's a disproportionate amount of pile on that I get when I'm doing the same thing that other people do, right? I guess. I mean, maybe she could be treated differently, but also we can't act like Brittany don't bring some stuff on herself. Be clear. Now you got Meredith over there talking to Lisa, dragging the hell out of Brittany, talking about how she disgusted. She think it's cute. She think it's funny. She thinks she a Disney princess, but she got the brain aptitude of one. So she over there dragging her. She also goes on to say, "I'm not just on the head top of Miss Brittany. I'm also on the head top of Whitney because I thought that you and I were cool. And you mean to tell me you knew about this information and you ain't even bring it to me?" Like, I don't rock with that, so I will be addressing her. So that's how Meredith is feeling. Now we get back to the top of the deck, and Brittany says that she says nice things with good intentions, and then it's a pile on. And see, this is where the narrative changes for me. I haven't seen what a lot of fans had to say about it, but let me say this, okay? I feel like as the episode progressed, I do feel like Brittany may have played out to be a victim. And I can't say that I agree with Brittany wholeheartedly being a victim in this, right? Don't sit up here and try to rewrite history and make it seem like, oh, well, I did things or I said nice things with good intentions. There was nothing that was a good intention behind what you told Meredith of what you found, right? I want to talk about, and I think she had one arm leaned back on the chair and was like, "I want to talk about what I found on TikTok, the information I heard about your husband. He's cheating." Like, it was every bit of like a clap back. And keep in mind, you started the conversation with Bronwin talking about her. I guess you didn't expect Bronwin to go back and say anything about it, which she did, right? I don't feel like Meredith has really been saying anything or doing anything to you, really, but you said that. You should have honestly spoke your truth before you even let Bronwyn open her damn mouth to say anything. You didn't, so Bronwyn spoke up. Which Bronwyn, I'm not gonna say Bronwyn was right in that either, but Brittany, you should have spoke up too and not deny it or downplay it or anything. You should have said it with your chest and how you felt when you were saying it around Bronwyn. So at this point, when you say what you say and it offends Meredith and she got an attitude with you and she snap at you, I'm not gonna say Meredith is wrong for that, right? I'm not gonna say that lady's wrong for that. And then you turn around, you turn around, and then you talk about what you found with her husband. Like, yeah, it's a problem, girl. You did that. So Bronwyn goes to check on Meredith, right? And Meredith tells her, like, "I'm not worried about somebody who got the brain size of a pea. Like, I'm not gonna be dealing with that. I ain't got time for that girl." So Bronwyn is like, "Well, I told her she don't need to be up here starting stuff, all right?" And then she put herself in this position. She kind of did. She kind of did. She kind of did. So I just feel like when you go to this lady, just like Heather said, and that's what I can't appreciate Heather saying, right? Brittany was like, "Well, I do nice things with good intentions, and it's a pile on me, and this, that, and the other. Like, you guys are coming at me like I'm so wrong." And Heather's like, "But girl, you can't sit up here and tell a woman that her husband is cheating on her and not expect her to get back at you. Like, at that point, you should have been expecting a whole mountain to come your way." And Heather's not wrong in that piece. She's not wrong. So I do have to say that I feel like Brittany did kind of bring that on herself. It's just what it is. She brought it on herself. Okay. Now, I have a question for Bronwyn, right? Bronwyn, I have really enjoyed you the past season or so. And I just kind of feel like the tide may be turning a little bit. Although I do enjoy you, you are ticking me off. I am not understanding why you thought that it was an amazing idea to take Britney's unicorn into the room with Meredith. I just feel like if that were you would be livid. You would be losing your stuff. You would be crying all over the place and you would be feeling like people did you wrong. So I'm very kind of, I'm for me in this moment, as I'm following the episode, I was a bit disappointed in seeing Bronwyn do that. right? And so then she makes this suggestion of, I guess, like getting back at Britney by like throwing her unicorn in the water or whatever, throwing it overboard. And I was so surprised to see Meredith go along with this. Meredith goes along with it. They put on different costumes or whatever. They go out to the deck, and Meredith is the one to actually throw the damn unicorn into the water, right? And I love Bronwin on the show. Don't get it wrong, but girl, I'm just like, why the fuck would you do that? Why would you do that? And if she had did that to you, you would not like that. And then you over here to me like you making fun of Britney having this stuffed animal, which I'll be honest, girl, I'm over here like, ugh. Like, girl, please, okay? Like, ugh. Like I'm cringing too. That at the fact that she has this stuffed animal with Jerry's voice on it, right? But I'm not gonna touch that lady stuff, right? In addition to that, I mean, you literally be having you be showing up in damn costumes at the airport with your husband. Don't you be trying to get your husband to put them same damn costumes on? Now, if those ladies made you feel like you was weird as fuck for that, you will be crying. I have to be honest, all right? You'll be feeling like somebody doing you or treating you unfair or some shit. Don't like it. Don't like it. Y'all leave your thoughts, right? So Brittany, I'm sorry, not Brittany, but Whitney, they get to breakfast, and I thought it was so funny because Whitney asked everybody, like, she says, "Is everybody tired?" And nobody said anything. No one responded to her. Whitney asked Meredith about her toe because y'all know she injured her toe a while back. I believe she hit the tub and then it swelled up. It was purple or something. So Meredith, I feel like you've gone at least a week or two at this point without getting that toe looked at, and I am concerned at this point. So she's saying that it still feels sore and she's gonna have to go and get it checked out, at a with a doctor and stuff. But she says it's okay, because I'm a survivor and I can deal with a little hatred being thrown at me without a problem. So don't y'all worry about it. Girl, I chuckled. Now, I felt like this was shade about last night and the hatred. Not the hatred, but I feel like it was shade from last night and the energy that Brittany gave to Meredith, right? But also, I feel like it was shade from what she may have learned about Brittany that morning when Brittany felt like it was a pile on. It was like, yeah, you tried to play me last night, but it's cool. I can handle it. But then also at the same time, you can't handle the pile on when you dish that you do. You can't handle it when you do what you do, but I can because I'm built for this and it's cool. But are you, Meredith? Let's keep going. Now, Brittany wanted to ask who thinks that she's filled with hatred, and Meredith is like, girl, we're not gonna do that. Girl, we're not gonna go there, girl. I'm done with you. We're not gonna do that. And then she says, my bigger issue is with Whitney, right? She says, because I barely know this little pea brain sitting behind me. I said, oh, she is tearing her up with this, like just attacking this lady head. She says, but I've known you for some time and I thought that we were good, right? And for you to sit up there and know about what happened and pretty much co-signed it and you never said anything is a problem. And Whitney said, well, wait a minute, girl, because I can explain that, honey. Let's be very clear about that. I gave this girl like 3 options, okay? I told her she could just look over it, act like she don't know what the hell happened, don't acknowledge it at all, or she can go and tell you what the hell happened, or I'll come and tell you what the hell happened. So those were the 3 options. And Meredith was like, oh, so you was giving her the opportunity to, I guess be a friend or something like that. You really was trying to be friends with both of us and just really let her take the lead since she brought the information to you. And Whitney was like, yeah, I don't think Whitney was really wrong for that. Y'all let me know. I think, yeah, you came to us with this. I'm going to let you be the one to get that information to Meredith. Now, if we go a week or so without it and you don't give it to her, then at some point I will tell her, right? But I kind of understand Brittany because I feel like if Brittany would have brought it to Meredith, Meredith probably would have got offended and been mad with Brittany. Like Brittany trying to sabotage her or something. So it's like, nah, she had that information. Let her do it. She got it, right? But one thing Whitney said that I did not agree with at that time, she was like, the TikTok thing isn't even a thing. And Meredith is making it a whole thing. And at that time, I was like, no, I disagree. I don't think that's the case. I feel like if somebody lied on your husband or said certain things about your husband, it could be true. You probably would have made it a whole damn thing too. So, she's making a non-thing a thing. I'm like, girl, it became a thing when another one of the cast members found out about it. Like, girl, what? So, anywho, Brittany says it's a double standard. She says people can say all kinds of things about somebody else's husband that's meant to be. She says, but when I do it and I say things about somebody's husband that's meant to be in kindness, right? She said, and she was finna go on to say, And you and concern, I don't know what Britney was gonna follow that up with because Meredith started cutting her off. So I think she really was losing her train of thought. But what I think she was trying to get at was like everybody can say everything. But when I get ready to say something about somebody's husband out of kindness, then it's a problem. And this is where I feel like a lot of people may try and play Britney out to be the victim because of this kindness. It's the words kindness, is good intentions, and it's nice things. These are the three things that she keeps saying. And it's a problem for me because she's not acknowledging what she did. You know what you did. Nothing about your intentions were pure. Stop it. Please chill out with that. Okay? And honestly, considering the fact that Meredith was on your head top, I don't think that you should act like, oh, I said this in kindness. No, BITCH, I didn't. I did not say it in kindness. I said it to piss you the hell off. Mission accomplished, bitch. That's what I want her to do. So Brittany tried to, mock Meredith and be all extra. And when she's doing this, her hair is landing on Meredith. And Meredith turned around like, don't you touch me. Don't you put your hands on me. And Brittany's like, you touch me. And I said, girl, they just bickering, honey. Bickering over who touched who. So all in all, I just feel like Brittany didn't make no sense for me. Bronwin tries to tell Brittany to calm down, chill out, and try to tell her how to apologize or something. And Meredith says, nah, you don't have to tell her that because, baby, I'm done with her. And if y'all want to be friends with her, then I'm done with you too. Heather said, is you cool? Like, are you for real? Like, seriously. And Meredith's like, I dead ass. Cut the cameras. Dead ass, I am. Okay. And then Heather gets in the confessional and said, girl, please. Girl, please. You done sat up here and let Miss Lisa Barlow run a damn muck all through your tea, digging everything up. You done had this woman digging up all this information about you, love. And you got the audacity to sit over here and be mad at Brittany for something that came across her timeline. If you're not gonna get all that energy to Meredith, then I don't. Lisa. I don't think you should give all that energy to Brittany. Is what Heather was pretty much saying, right? Now, and really, honestly, I think Heather's still mad that she felt like Meredith left her hanging when it came to the Lisa situation. So, anywho, Bronwin, we're gonna spin the block back on you. How dare you sit up there and tell the ladies that you're trying to help Brittany out with apologizing or whatever, knowing you sat your ass up there and threw that lady damn unicorn in the water? Girl, that's some shady shit. That's some shady shit. Girl, you wrong for that. Now, Bronwyn says, or at least she asked Mary to say something. She's like, Mary, you're a woman of God. Can you say something? Mary said, girl, I'm not saying that. Leave me out of it, okay? And leave God out of it too, because y'all not going to listen to me and you're not going to listen to God. Y'all going to continue to sit up here trying to get your point across, so don't say nothing to me. And you know what? When Mary said that, it made me think about the talk she had with Angie. And I said, you know what? Angie has actually been on her best behavior while on this trip since she and Mary had that talk. Okay, girl. Did y'all see the documentary that's going to be dropping about Mary? And I think I can't remember what it's called, the Cult of Real Housewives or something like that. It was like really weird. And I kind of, felt the way slightly because I was like, well, damn, why y'all focusing on Mary? And why y'all just now bringing this story out? Why y'all didn't do it years ago when she first got on the show? That would have been a prime time for it, really. Now that she's back on the show, a lot of people are liking Mary even more than they did in past seasons. And now we're bringing this story to the front. Now, don't act like I'm not going to watch it. I am. Don't act like I'm not going to try to get the tea because I am. I am going to tune in. I am going to see what the hell is going on. One thing that stuck out to me during that trailer that was floating around was the fact that one of the guys that was being interviewed mentioned something that her husband, Robert Sr., said that he wanted to marry Mary or something like that. And I said, well, that's interesting because Mary came to us and told us that her grandmother told her she wanted her to marry Robert Sr. So now I want to know more questions. I want to have I want more answers to my questions, right? So how did you hear this directly from the word of your grandmother's mouth? Or did you hear this by way of Robert Sr. and what the grandmama told him? Because that gives weird. And I don't know what age she was when she married him, but that's a very sketchy man. I'm gonna let the documentary play out. But my initial thoughts is That's a very sketchy man that you would probably find one of her youngest grandkids that you found to be attractive, that you would like to mold into being the type of wife that you want. Something about that is sketchy. But I do want to see the documentary to see if anything lines up with what Mary said as well, because Mary was saying that her grandmother left everything to her church, her money, her whatever, including her husband. Her mother did not like that. Right? So I wonder what's true, what's not true. I'm willing to believe Mary, and I don't think that this documentary is going to change how I feel about Mary. I still, when it comes to this group of women, I still like Mary more than this documentary can make me dislike her. You know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know your thoughts. Are y'all going to watch it? Let me know. So the ladies are packing up, right? And Brittany cannot find her unicorn. I said, oh, snap, here we go. Now, Bronwyn purposely has a different flight from the ladies, right? So she changed her flight to fly in, and that ended up making her have to change her flight to return as well. So she won't be flying back from them. And she's glad she's not flying back with them. But also, I know that she wishes that she was so that she could get the rest of the tea and stuff, or she would have been there to witness everything for herself. But I'm kind of glad that she didn't, because I feel like she probably at some point would have interjected her damn self in the mess. So I'm glad Brahman wasn't on that trip, right? Now, as they were leaving, though, one of the crew members did run and bring back the unicorn, like, hey, you're forgetting this, you're forgetting this. And she said, oh, it's wet. And they said, well, it was overboard or whatever. And so she's like, so who did this? She walks around asking everybody who did it. She finally gets to Bronwyn, and Bronwyn says, it was me. It was a joke. It was meant to make you laugh. And it's like, Bronwyn, this is where you piss me off. Now, I am not a fan of Britney's on this show, and nobody's going to change that for me. And you cannot make her be more of a victim than she is. Her feeling bad about whatever happened to her is not going to outrule for me the situation of how you showed up with your own damn children and how you choose these men like crazy. Okay, that's primarily the reason why I don't like Britney. But if she's not done fairly, I can acknowledge that if I feel that way, if I feel like she wasn't done fairly, right? But all in all, I don't think that it was right to throw her unicorn overboard. And we could dislike this whole Jared thing. We could cringe over the fact that she puts him first, and she let this man tongue her down all in front of her daughter. Just this weird, like, we could hate it all day. I definitely agree, but I just don't agree with taking her property and then throwing it out there. Especially if somebody would have did that to y'all, y'all would have act like it was the end of the world when people have done less, right? So when it came down to it, Meredith says, oh, I was with Bronwyn. Yeah, she was like, really? Why would you do that? She says, well, Uni wanted to go for a swim. Okay, he wanted to be dipped in the ocean. He needed to be because he had too much tanner and makeup on him. I said, oh, wow. And let me tell you, I will be honest, I was surprised Meredith went along with this, but also the way Meredith told her, like, yeah, I was out there. I did that. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that. I'm thinking about Young Jock, y'all. Sorry. So when she was leaning over there and she said it, I kind of didn't mind her nonchalantness just a little bit, because it's like, BIT, you tried to blast me and come to the front and try and say that my husband was cheating or whatever the case was. And it's like, it's not on you nothing. Right? So I kind of did not mind her reaction to her, but the overall act, y'all was wrong for that. Y'all ain't have to throw that lady. Like, y'all just really didn't. Y'all just really didn't have to do that. I'm sorry. So Meredith is laughing in her face while she's saying this, child. So of course at some point, Miss Girl is gonna walk off by herself. Like, I'm done. I'm over it. I'm walking off. I'm done. But part of that is because Brittany feel like everybody just mistreats her all the time. And it's no. Yes, the lady should not have thrown her unicorn overboard. Period. Right? Don't do that. However, you are not the victim when you come at somebody trying to blast somebody their husband cheating, and when she give you the reaction and more of what you're looking for, now, oh my God, everybody's bowing on me. That's not how this goes, okay? Now they're on the flights, and we learn that Meredith, from the ladies now, damn near every single woman confirmed this. Meredith showed her ass on that plane, at the airport and on her plane. They said she was screaming, yelling, and crying. Now, yelling may be a stretch. Well, I take that back. I take that back. I take that back. Let's keep going. So everybody said that she showed her ass. They said she was taunting Britney. She was talking loud. All of this was taking place in first class. And I'm confused because I was just like, well, damn, ain't no flight attendant. Nobody said anything to her. If it's a flight that's this long and people are sleeping, like ain't nobody say nothing. So now I'm wondering if when it came to these ladies booking first class, if all of production, because at some point I feel like if it was other cast members, I'm sorry, if it was other regular civilians, people on this flight, somebody at some point would have complained. So I'm wondering if first class was all booked up by producers and cast only, right? And maybe security and cast only that was in that section of the plane, right? So they probably had range to do kind of a little bit of what they wanted to do at EK, because I'm wondering who else was at the front of this plane. So Lisa says that she just grabbed her chair when it came down to it and told her, hey, give Meredith the TikTok, give it to her. And I'm kind of like, tell Meredith has to search for it. It's not hard to search for that. Type your name in there, type your husband name in there on TikTok to see if they like you do it. So then Whitney kept saying they. When I heard Whitney talking, telling her side of what she saw, and she kept saying they, I said, oh. So not only was it Meredith, you're admitting that Lisa was also with the shit, or at least supported it. I don't know. We gonna see. So Meredith says that she didn't cause a scene because if she did, she would have been arrested by an air marshal, right? Um, I think that's possible because that is something that I was wondering. Like, arrested by an air marshal, not necessarily. I would think that you probably they would give you a few warnings of like, oh, hey, can you calm it down? Can you this or that? Even though flight attendants don't have to give you no warning. If they don't want you on a flight, they can get you up off there, right? But being that you're a celebrity now, people know who you are. You probably had production and potentially security up there, right? Maybe that's why the air marshal wasn't there, or maybe that's why they didn't put you on a no-fly list. Because maybe they figured it was something for, I don't know what they were thinking. But some part of me, like using that statement and her being an attorney to use it, definitely creates the doubt, right? To where a person is like, well, did she do it? Because that didn't happen. But when you have about 5 cast members coming back saying what happened, sounds like it did. Now, one person I feel I did not hear from was Angie. I feel like we heard from Mary, we heard from Whitney, think we heard from Britney, we heard from Heather. I do not recall Angie telling us her side of what she heard or saw. But also, when they gave us the flight list, Angie was sitting a bit further up than the rest of the ladies. But we're gonna get into more. Now, Bronwin and Mary links up, and Mary gives her the update on Meredith and how she went in on Britney. And although she has issues with Britney, she just felt like wrong is wrong, and she didn't feel like Meredith was in the right for that. And so Whitney gives her husband the tea. Not only does she give her husband the tea, Lisa is also giving her husband the tea. All 3 of these ladies are pretty much saying the exact same thing. Meredith was going off. She was going off. She was showing her ass, right? Now, Heather and Britney, they link up. Britney says that she hardly slept and she hasn't really eaten, right? Here go Heather, right? Here go Heather. Heather is like, well, there's some crazy vortex of bullying when these two get together. And I said, oh, now, and I also heard Whitney say they, but the person y'all kept saying showing their ass was Meredith. Now, granted, Lisa may have sat there and not did much and may have tapped on her chair and say, hey, give her this or that, right? But I feel like y'all are positioning this and lining it up because y'all trying to get Lisa ass off the show. Now, listen, y'all know I'm not crazy about Lisa. Have not been crazy about Lisa. Been waiting for Heather to come to this place where she has this clear realization about everything. And get up out that lady's ass. And now that she's finally from up under her ass, it does hit a little different because I feel like It's not as natural as I would want it to be, and it is coming off as malicious a bit. And it is feeling as though she was trying to make Lisa pay for the crimes of Meredith. And I kind of feel like that is what Whitney was doing too, right? But I feel like it's okay to call somebody out though, like if you participated and you was yelling at her too or whatever. But whenever y'all talk about it, y'all only talk about Meredith showing her ass for the most part. And Lisa just went along with it. So what it sounds like is that y'all felt like Lisa did not shut down Meredith. Not that Lisa was participating and yelling at her too. But y'all let me know. Let's keep going. So Heather was asleep. And then she woke up at some point and she told them both that they needed to chill out. And she said that's when both of them started coming at her. Let's keep going. Britney says that she broke down crying at some point, right? Um, Again, I don't this is where I don't completely feel bad for her because you can't dish shit. Like it's no different than to me, similar to what she did last year when she did all that damn filming of the ladies and saying she didn't know what she was doing, and Meredith snapped on her ass, and then she got off the bus to go sit down and shed tears. But you was recording them, so it's not much different than that to me. Brittany knows how to. That's probably how she be getting Jared back all the time too, always acting like a victim. But anywho, I just don't like her rewriting history with those three things that her ass kept saying, right? Acting like, oh, I was doing things in good faith. And she just kept badgering me. No, bitch. All right. But obviously, I have to go back and revisit what Whitney said when Whitney said that the TikTok was nothing, but Meredith is making it this thing. And knowing that Meredith continued to snap off, I see now what Whitney is saying, because it's like, did that happen? Did that happen? Because or have you and Seth had some type of infidelity issues in the past? Because how you acting is like, that's what it's giving. Like, it's very weird. All right, you over here still snapping off. So Brittany is feeling betrayed by Lisa as well, and Heather says that she deserves support and dignity and protection, and if they can't, apologize and provide that to her, then they don't deserve her friendship, Heather's friendship, or the friendship of this group. When I hear that, that still gives to me Heather's outlet, and she's going to use Britney like she once used Bronwin in a way to get Lisa Barlow's ass off this show. And it may not be to that extent, but that is what it sounds like to me. I'm not saying I want Lisa completely gone from the show, right? But I would like call Lisa out accordingly, okay? If Lisa doing wrong, call people out. She always thinks she's perfect, Patty. You need to also hold some accountability for the stuff that you've done in the past. Like, girl, yeah, I'm here for that. But the way Heather is moving with this, it's just very weird. So Heather says she is 100% on her side now. I do not believe that. I believe that Heather is 100% on her side for the moment. For the moment. Now, Bronwyn and Whitney, they're talking, and Bronwyn wasted no time getting to the plane gate. She's like, I need to know what's going on. They do a flashback because Whitney's like, listen, I want to know what Mary told you, right? And that's where Mary pretty much said that Meredith complained the whole damn flight. She was even campaigning to get people on her side. Whitney pretty much confirmed everything that Mary said. Like, yeah, that's how it went down. And Bronwyn is like, huh? Cause girl, where is the footage? So Bronwyn doesn't know what to believe because she says there's no footage. Why ain't nobody pull their phones out? Right? She says, why wasn't she put on the no-fly list if that's how it went down? And I think again, those are great questions because it made me question if Meredith was like whispering, like, and then she's gonna sit up here and do that and do, but not whispering at the same time. Other people are saying that she's yelling. I'm willing to believe that Meredith was yelling. Now, maybe her yell wasn't as loud, but I do feel like I feel like she was yelling. Her voice was definitely higher above average. I think Meredith did want Britney to feel as uncomfortable as she did. Reason why I personally believe that Meredith did show her ass like this is because Meredith has always showed her ass like that. She may not have done it on the plane, but when you piss her off and she's upset, Meredith gets to this place where she cannot control it, and it gets elevated higher and higher and higher, right? You're disgusting to me. Don't talk to me. You're blah 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 blah. Like, yeah, I can see that. Um, I think that's how she was talking to Lisa, right? I feel like, and see, that's the other thing too, because a lot of times when Meredith gives that type of energy, she's directing it at that person. But if Brittany had her headphones on the whole time, knowing she wasn't listening to anything, I do believe Meredith was talking loud enough for her to hear her. But maybe it could have possibly not been in the same manner in which I'm thinking. You make me mad and you da 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 da. But she was loud as hell. I think Meredith did show her ass, and probably showed her ass more when she got off the plane. Right? Now, Bronwin goes on to talk about how Todd and Meredith both can learn some flight etiquette. I said, okay, girl, now what done went on? I thought she was finna cry. So people are accusing Todd of cheating on Bronwyn. Somebody caught Todd texting some other lady and looking at her photos and all of that in his phone. So Bronwyn said that she believes that this is true because the person had certain flight details on this man that nobody else would know. What seat he was in, what flight he took, all this information. So she believed what was happening. So this the second time his mother was caught up with him texting somebody. And Bronwyn, you knew what it was the first time when it happened. And then you tried to make it sound like it was something completely different. And then now here we are with this same whole shit. And your daughter caught him the last time doing this shit. Now somebody else done caught him and blasted his ass. Don't protect this man no more. So she asked him about it, and he deflected and tell her, ask your friends. You know, they the ones that like to dabble in this type of shit. And Bronwyn was like, oh, no, we ain't finna do that. So she pretty much told him he gotta go. He gotta leave the house. Go and do what you finna do tonight, because you can't stay here. All right. Um, Bronwyn, if you don't know, this is what you need to know. You need to go ahead and consult a divorce attorney. I I understand you're not ready to leave Todd, and I'm not telling you that you should. But I do think that you need to know your options ahead of time before he puts you in that position. You may not be ready to leave him, but it doesn't mean that at any moment he won't leave you. So I just feel like you need to consult, see what the tea is. You know what I'm saying? Just understand that, okay, we ain't got no prenup. If anything were to go left, what rights do I got? What do I have access to? What I don't. Like, I just think you should get a jumpstart head conversation on that. And I understand you want to stay with Todd, but if this show continues to cost him his like jeopardize his image, I feel like I feel like he may position you to quit the show, and if you don't quit the show, he's probably going to quit you. And I just think that you need to go ahead and get your ducks in a row ahead of time. Because something about that is a little, okay. Okay, girl. Now, she does say that if she knew about it ahead of time, she'll be cool with it. She is over there confiding in Whitney because she feel like Whitney is relatable. And she may have been through the same thing. She says she's open to him sleeping with somebody else if he would just tell her. She says, or they can sleep with the person together if you want. She says it wouldn't really bother her, but she just wouldn't mind. And she says, I feel like when the ladies are coming at me about certain things that my husband got going on, I would love to be able to tell them, like, I know I picked her. I picked her for him. So it's like, Bronwyn, is this what you really want? Or do you just want to be able to have a comeback with the other ladies? Right? But it sounds like Bronwyn may want to get humped on by somebody else and not by him. So that could be the case. But either way, she says she wants to evolve with him and not leave him. That's what she says. And I'm like, it could work. But I was like, have you had this conversation with Todd? Why are you bringing it to Whitney? Then I say, you know what? She probably has talked to Todd about this. And Todd probably shut her down about it. And I feel like her hoping to convince him to go along with her idea is by her having this conversation with Whitney on camera. So he's going to see it. Now, Whitney can relate, right? And when times were bad, they may have opened things up for a little bit as far as her marriage is concerned. So that's where she was like, things was bad. We was able to not really open it up, but open it up. I went and did my thing, he did his thing. But ultimately, she was able to talk to her husband about it. I think they went to counseling and stuff, and what they realized was that they wanted more of each other and needed to work on some stuff. So that's what's going on. But if you'd have told Whitney and think that you could trust Whitney and the conversation's not going to go further beyond that, I doubt it. Now, Heather and Lisa are talking. They sit down, and Lisa tells Heather not to get up as soon as she arrives. And I loved it because it was giving basically, bitch, don't hug me. Sit down. Okay? You ain't got to get up and hug me. I know you're a fake ass bitch. You can sit down anyway. All right, I ain't over the stuff that you pull, girl. So Heather lets Lisa know that Britney doesn't want to have anything to do with her or Meredith. She don't want to be around them, and she's like, "What?" And she said, she's confused, like, "What the hell going on?" Like, I ain't really doing that to her. She said, "All I did was lean forward and tell that girl to go ahead and give her the damn TikTok. I told her that at the airport. I told her that on the airplane. Just give it to her." And I'm kind of like, well, why y'all ain't ask Whitney? Whitney saw it too. Ask Whitney to send it to her. Why y'all just ain't do a search for it yourselves? Y'all could have just searched for it and found it out, right? So Heather is like, no. Okay. She's like, no, but you told her that she effed up. Like, you fucked up. You fucked up. And Lisa says, no, I did not tell her that. I did not tell her that. Heather says that she said you were egging on Meredith. And she says, no, I was not. Now, there's a possibility that Lisa was not egging on Meredith, but she didn't stop Meredith either, right? Also, Britney lies. Britney lies. Okay. So she said, you effed up. You effed up. I'm like, did she really say that? Did she really say that? I don't know. Lisa could have said it, but then I don't know. Because there'd be some liars on this show. So Lisa says Meredith was yelling at her and not talking to Britney, but she was more so talking to Lisa. Okay. Lisa says, she says, if it was such a problem, why didn't nobody step in then? And Heather says that I did step in, and then you guys start yelling at me. And Lisa like, girl, we did not yell at you, bitch. Stop lying. Stop lying. Girl, I don't know. Y'all, I don't know what the hell to believe. So Heather says that she thought Britney was disheveled and the girls had to help pull her together and stuff. And Lisa didn't even come over there to check on her. And Lisa said, girl, I was preserving my peace. I don't know why that's so hard for y'all. I don't know. And Heather says, well, I don't know why it's so hard. I don't know why someone should be punished for not doing what you tell them to do. Basically, you punishing her and not showing up to support her because she wouldn't send the TikTok. BITCH. You talking so much SHI about this lady and her husband. You found the TikTok. You might as well prove it. You might as well send it to her. You mad at me for what I saw here. You need to be mad at the person that's put it out. There you go. Or she need to go look for it her damn self. But Lisa says, I don't know why you trying to punish me when I'm not up here trying to punish you for everything other folks have done to me. Then Heather gonna say, I'm talking to you as a friend. Lisa said, I'm talking to you as a friend. Heather says, it don't feel like you are. Well, bitch, you just said that you were talking to Lisa as a friend. So now she don't feel like she's a friend. You don't feel like she's a friend, but you were the first one to say that you're talking to her like she's a friend. Like, Heather is partly gaslighting and playing in Lisa's damn face. I have to be honest. People, I don't care how nobody feel. Like, that's just what was going on. So Lisa said that she felt bad for her, but she has to take responsibility. Like, can she not take responsibility for anything? I said, exactly. I have to agree with that. Take responsibility for your shit. So Heather says, so you feel like she deserves it. Ain't nobody say that shit. Nobody said she deserved what the hell happened. But what I did say is that she needs to take accountability for her fuck shit. Because you also heard her wake up that next morning talking about she does nice things with good intentions. Everybody could talk about somebody's husband, but when I do it, then it's the end of the world type of shit. I said something with good intentions about her husband. Like, stop playing. Like, you see how Britney is trying to position this when she really did bring this on her damn self? So Lisa says that she didn't bully nor harass her, so you're not going to keep putting that shit on me. And everything that Heather said was pretty much, to me, kind of gaslighting Lisa. So she's telling Lisa everything that Britney told her as if she knows for a fact, which was interesting, so keep going. And then says, she tells Lisa, how is she going to deny it? How are you going to deny this when I myself was on the plane? And Lisa says, but you also said that you would sleep for most of it. So how are you going to sit up here and talk to me with such such strong, like you just like you so right. Like how you gonna sit up here and tell me when you was asleep and I was the one that was up the whole time so I could tell you what happened, right? Heather says in the confessional that she saw and heard everything. So either these are lies that you saw everything, or your ass was lying about being asleep. So while you trying to sit over here, Heather, and pow on the fact that nobody stopped whatever was happening with old girl, you really didn't stop either until the last minute. You pretended to be asleep and you sat up there and watched everything that happened. So which one is it? Either you lying about seeing everything and you just taking Britney's word for it, who is also a known fucking liar, or you was never asleep and you was enjoying watching everything play the fuck out the way that it did. So which one is it? And then at the last minute, you want to feel like you did something. Hey guys, chill out. Don't talk to her like that. And the only thing that does make me go back now, because I really don't know what happened anymore, what makes me question whether Meredith really yelled was the fact that the seat positioning. So let's get the seat positioning up here real quick. Where is it? Do I have it? I should have it. There it is. Let's get the seat positioning up here. So this is the seat positioning. Heather is sitting right next to Meredith and Lisa. If Mary heard everything that was going on and Whitney heard everything that was going on, why the fuck did Heather not? Now sometimes people can sleep hard, but at some point it was loud enough for you to wake up. So if she was yelling at her the whole time, why you didn't wake up? So that leaves me to kind of believe, and I could be wrong, I believe Heather ass was up the whole time and she was watching everything play out and she wasn't saying shit. She wasn't saying anything until she finally just said, hey guys, calm down, like chill out. I don't know, y'all. I mean, y'all gonna do that anyway, cause it's just how y'all is. But some about it is giving Heather lying. So Lisa says, Brittany needs to take accountability. She's not wrong. She's not wrong. Take accountability for whatever you did back at the boat, cause that's really where it all started. Cause it came out your mouth. And the very next morning, you tried to make yourself the victim, and then the victim she carried over, right? And Meredith, if you was hooping, hollering, screaming, yelling, I personally feel like you was doing too damn much on that plane. So you need to acknowledge that, and I personally feel take accountability for doing too fucking much, because at the end of the day, whether we all like Britney or not, that was your nigga that was caught up out there in them photos. So if you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at your nigga for being so reckless. Okay, because I feel like Seth been doing this. He be gone for like months at a time and shit like that. I feel like they may have had the same situation that Whitney got with her man. Only thing is Whitney will say it out loud, whereas they like to continue to put up a certain image. So if you mad, be mad at him. Now Heather says Brittany was the victim in the situation and says that Lisa is on the defense. Yes, bitch, I'ma always be on the defense because of how you be approaching me. That's why you do shit to people and then manipulate them or gaslight them and make them feel like, oh, you're on the defense, or oh, you're overreacting, or oh, you're like, girl, go on. I ain't even much doing that to this lady. And the fact that you're trying to hurry up and align me to Meredith when the person you need to be sitting down with talking to is Meredith, go talk to her. Go talk to her. But I don't know, because Lisa could have also told her you fucked up. Like you fucked up. Like Brittany, you fucked up. I don't know. Cause I also feel like even if Lisa didn't say any of that and she just leaned forward and said, Brittany, can you send her to TikTok? Brittany sent her to TikTok. That right there made her feel away too. Cause Brittany's that type of sensitive person. She cries about everything and does not always take accountability for shit. She even struggled with having that conversation with her own damn child. People. So anywho, the two continue to bicker, and then Heather says that she was there and she saw all of it and says Lisa is trying to change our reality about it. And it's like, so basically you was up the whole time. You was up the whole time. What you saw was actual factual. You was never asleep. And you too, Miss I'm good friends with Brittany, allowed her to get piled on as well, basically, is what. Now that may have been a pile on the plane. since you saw everything and Lisa heavily contributed to it, but you wanted Lisa to stop everything that was happening when you could have stopped it too, as you were laying right there next to them, having a clear eye view. Because if they are sitting on the side and Britney's right there, where Heather is when she's leaning, acting like she's asleep or even leaning this way, she sees and she can hear all that's going on. But you trying to play everybody else out like they wrong. So I feel like if that's the case, you about as wrong as damn Lisa was, because she ain't step in. Let you tell it. So Meredith and Mary have a sit down, and Mary tells Meredith that she's seen her go off before, but this time it was really different. And Meredith says, "What is it that you think happened?" Mary said, "It ain't what I think happened. It's what I know happened because my ass was there." I loved how Mary clocked that. And Meredith says, the reality is I was upset and I was venting to Lisa. Right? She says, I didn't even think that Britney heard me. All right. She had her headphones on or whatever. And Mary says, I think that you wanted her to hear you. Because again, where was Mary sitting? Mary could hear everything that was going on. Right? Mary could hear everything that was going on from where she was sitting. Mary tells her it went on for a minute, and then Meredith was like, no, it didn't, like 15 minutes. And she said, no, it went on for a minute. She said, I don't know how you remember. You went to sleep sometimes. She said, yeah, but when I woke up, you still was going at it. Right? She said, okay, well, so maybe it went on for 30 minutes. She said, because I know I also went to sleep and I watched some movies or whatever the case was, so it couldn't have been that long. Right? So Mary says, yeah, she's concerned that Meredith doesn't remember exactly how things played out. And Mary wants Lisa to remember, she wants her to remember what happened, and she feels like she doesn't, right? And Mary says, I understand that you have an image or whatever that you're trying to uphold, but I do think that you need to take some type of accountability, right? And yeah, I think she could. If you was loud, because even if you weren't yelling and screaming, you was loud enough to where that lady could hear you, to where she felt uncomfortable, and that was the goal, which was to make her feel uncomfortable. Britney said that Meredith shook her chair and made her spill her drink on herself or whatever, and then Lisa said that the drink got on her, it spilled on her, and maybe it did, but it also could have spilled on Britney. Britney could have spilled her drink too. Right? And the only reason why I'm believing it, though, even though I don't know for sure if it happened, it's just how Meredith has shown up before when somebody has pissed her the hell off. We've seen how she's reacted before, so I just feel like it would be the same on a plane. Meredith says that Lisa was right there when it happened, so she knows what's going on. I said, yeah, and Lisa also admitted to her husband and to Heather that your ass was doing too much and you was going off losing your shit, pretty much. Even though she also told Lisa also told Heather that you was just talking directly to her. But either way, he was doing too damn much. Okay. So Meredith thinks that Whitney got in Mary's ear. No. You trying to come up with all these other excuses, Meredith. No. They probably was in each other's ear talking about your ass while they was on the plane. Right? But I don't think she got in her ear. Mary thinks Meredith apologizing would be good for her wellness. I hollered when she told this lady that. I think it would be good for your wellness. Try. We'll see. I feel like Meredith should only give Britney an apology if Britney is willing to apologize for what she did as well. And that's just what it is, and not accept that you are fully the victim in this damn situation. Britney does shit and she cannot take it when somebody responds to her. That's just what it is. But y'all leave your thoughts and comments down below. That's all I got. Only thing I felt bad for Britney about was her damn unicorn being thrown in the damn water. Other than that, really shoulder shrug. That's all I got. Catch y'all in the next one. Bye.
Tell them I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters. I'm silent. Nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification. Them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cash died at the ATM. And the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF. Got them trying to clone me like Aegis. Game time, I invaded gym. High elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up. I got laser focus, about to take it over. I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man? They say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film. I can feel it.